Thanks for stopping by GF Explorers, and today we're talking about my favorite cookie, and probably yours too if you've clicked to check out this video, chocolate chip cookie. Now there are a ton of gluten-free recipes out there, and quite frankly, I haven't found a good one yet. I'm pretty particular about my chocolate chip cookies since I don't have any restrictions and I can pretty much eat everything I want, but in our gluten-free household, we're making gluten-free cookies. A lot of the cookies out there are made with almond flour, coconut flour, quinoa flour. Now, all of those flours are great for specific applications, but to me, not for chocolate chip cookies. Almond flour just imparts that almond flavor that isn't natural to a chocolate chip cookie. Same with coconut flour. You still get that kind of hint of coconut in there. So save those flours for their respective recipes. Biscotti, macaroons, things like that. So we've created what we think is one of the best gluten-free and dairy-free chocolate chip cookie recipes out there. And we're gonna show you how to make it. So let's get started. So the recipe is gonna be linked in the description down below. You can also find it on our website, gfexplorers.com. The first thing we need to do is cream our sugar and our butter together. So let's start with a cup each of white sugar and light brown sugar into our mixing bowl. Next, I've got 16 tablespoons or 2 sticks of Earth Balance buttery spreads. There's our dairy-free aspect of it. I keep your butter cold. I have it sliced up so it breaks up nice and neat. And we'll get that into our bowl. We'll raise our bowl up. And let's start our mix on slow. As the butter starts to break down, we're going to start increasing our speed. So now you can see our mixture starting to creep up the sides of the bowl. That lets us know that we've perfectly creamed our butter and our sugar. So now what I'm going to do is drop my speed, and I'm going to add in my wet ingredients slowly. And as it starts to incorporate in, I'm going to start to turn my speed back up. As it starts to incorporate in, we'll add the rest of our ingredients and scrape our bowl out to make sure we get all of the wet ingredients into the bowl. And now it's nicely incorporated. We're confident it's not going to splash back up at us. Now we're going to turn the speed up another notch. And what we want to do is get this nice and whipped and airy. And that's going to take about 3 to 4 minutes. Okay, we look like we're nice and airy. I'm going to go ahead and turn the speed off. Let's drop our bowl and have a look at what we've got. So you can see we are nice and whipped up. It's very light and airy. Let's get all of this off of the paddle. Scrape it down off the sides of the bowl. I am going to put our paddle back on the mixer. We're ready to add our dry ingredients. I've got all my flours mixed together in a bowl. 2 ingredients I want to talk about are your chocolate chips. Now we're using a dark 64% cacao chip to keep it dairy-free. You can use your favorite chip, anything from a milk chocolate chip, semi-sweet, a dark chocolate like we're using, or even a white chocolate chip if you want to make a white chocolate chip macadamia nut cookie. So the chip choice is up to you. I'm going to go ahead and add this into our flour blend. And then the final ingredient is gluten-free oats. Now these are Bob's Red Mill certified gluten-free oats, and they're just enough in there. So this is not an oatmeal chocolate chip, just enough oats in here to give the cookie a little bit of body and a little bit of texture. So we'll go ahead and mix these all together. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our mixer and we're gonna put the speed on low, and we're gonna put our dry mix in 1 scoop at a time, letting things incorporate. Now you don't want to overmix this. As soon as all the ingredients are incorporated, you want to take it off of the mixer. Put our mixer on low and start to add our dry ingredients 1 cup at a time. Now if your mixer starts to bog down as this dries out, feel free to turn that mixer up another notch on the speed. But again, we're not really trying to overmix this. We're just trying to incorporate all of our ingredients. Now I'm going to go ahead and stop this and just kind of scrape. We're kind of balling up on our paddle here. So we'll scrape this down. That looks good. We'll put this back on low and continue to add our dry ingredients. And my mixer is starting to bog down just a bit, so I'm going to turn this up to 2. Get my scoop down, and I have just enough here. I'm going to go ahead and pour everything into the pool. And we are pretty mixed. I'm going to go ahead and shut this down. Take our paddle off of there. Get this off of the mixer. We're going to get all the dough off of our paddle. The texture of the dough feels amazing. Everything's incorporated. The dough shouldn't feel gritty. It shouldn't be overly sticky. It should feel like conventional cookie dough if you've ever cooked with conventional cookie dough before. Now you can see there's still some residual flour in here on the sides of the bowl. So what I want to do is just scrape down the sides of the bowl really quick and just gently fold this over and incorporate the rest of that flour into our dough. Now we always want to cook the gluten-free cookie dough when it's ice cold, even a little partially frozen, nice and crispy on the outside. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover this with plastic wrap and put it in the freezer for about 20 to 30 minutes, and then we'll scoop up our dough and bake our cookies. Okay, our dough's out of the freezer. It's been in the freezer for about 30 minutes, not enough to freeze it, just enough to get it nice and stiff. Now what I like to do is I like to go ahead and scoop the entire bowl out. So I've got my nice scoop here. We'll put a link in the description down below for this size scoop, but this makes the perfect size cookie as far as I'm concerned. So as I said, we're gonna go ahead and scoop out the entire bowl, and then we'll probably bake about 6 cookies at a time. Now what we like to do is take all of these dough balls and freeze them and put them in a sandwich bag. That way, whenever you feel like having a hot chocolate chip cookie, you just pull 1 or 2 out at a time, put them in your oven, and you have hot chocolate chip cookies rather than baking the whole batch at one time. Now, if you have a family, obviously you'll want, these are going to go fast, so you'll want to go ahead and bake the whole batch. And this batch will make approximately 24 cookies. You can see I'm not packing them down really tight in the scoop. I'm leaving the dough fairly loose. So we've portioned out our dough. We're going to go ahead and take 6 of these, put them in the oven at 350 degrees. Now, depending on your oven, that could take anywhere between 15 to 18 minutes. The rest of these we're going to put in the freezer, freeze solid, and then put in the sandwich bag for use at a later time. Ready? Okay, our cookies are done. Let's see what we have. Oh yeah, look at those guys. So our total cook time here was about 17 minutes. So we started out with 15 and I added about another 2 minutes. And once again, your time may vary, but we'll let these cool down and then we're gonna dig in. The longest 5 minutes of your life will be the 5 minutes that it takes to cool your cookies down before you can enjoy them. Well, there you have it, guys. Look at that. Gluten-free, dairy-free chocolate chip cookies. And I'm not even going to talk anymore. I'm just going to dig right into these. Wow, I don't know if you can hear that crunch on the microphone, but they are deliciously crispy on the outside, yet soft and chewy on the inside. You can see we've got nice color on the bottom here. I'd almost like to have just a little bit less color, but nonetheless, they're still delicious. And the oats provide just enough texture and enough chew since we're missing gluten. And because of both the white sugar and the brown sugar in the cookie, I don't miss the sweetness of a semi-sweet chip or a milk chocolate chip at all. I think the dark chocolate chips really work fine in here. Wow, so delicious. You guys have to make this recipe. Trust me, you will not be disappointed. And oh, we have the mysterious hand of the camera person coming in to steal a cookie. How is that cookie? My camera woman says that the cookie is delicious. Well, there you have it, guys. Dairy-free, gluten-free, what we feel is the best chocolate chip cookie recipe that we could create. Don't forget to like, subscribe to our channel, and for sure hit that notification bell to be alerted whenever we do delicious gluten and dairy-free recipes just like this one. And until next time, happy eating. You can see I've got my nice, I believe this is like a 2-ounce scoop, the red scoop. Do we know what size the red scoop is?